Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, it's the top 5 favorite decks day for December of 2024. Today's the day that I look back on the decks that I played in December and picked out my top favorite decks. These aren't the decks that are going to have the highest win rate. They're just the decks that I had the most fun playing. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, and despite rumors to the contrary, I had absolutely nothing to do with the collapse of the 23andMe DNA testing empire. Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Filmed for a live studio audience. Thank you so much. Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my, say it with me, secret underground headquarters. I heard you. And it's top 5 favorite decks day. Top 5 favorite decks day. Top 5 favorite decks day. Yeah. So today's the day that we look back on December. We pick out the top 5 favorite decks, the decks I like to play the most. One of the things I like doing is I like to pay homage to the people that put these decks together. Because believe it or not, I'm not usually playing decks that I make myself. Sometimes I'm another guy who happens to have to work a lot, and that dude doesn't have enough time to be this guy who puts together decks and plays them and records them and posts them to the internet. So a lot of times I just find other people's awesome decks and play them so I can show them to you. All right, so we're going to talk about other people's decks, how awesome they are, and give them props for doing such a good job. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through my top 5 favorite decks one at a time and talk a little bit about what makes each one of them awesome. All right, and here we go with the first deck. All right, playing against Lugia 1123, Lugia 1, 2, 3, Obliterating Bolt, and a Nemesis. This Nemesis is the guy that likes to come out all the time. Power great of 4 or greater. Do we really want more? I guess. There's nothing to recommission. All right, I guess I could bring back the Screaming Nemesis. All right, well, he's playing white, which means he's not going to be doing damage if he gets rid of it. Hopefully he'll just destroy it rather than exiling it forever. Did you have the ability to bring it back? That's cool. Ooh, good. A little red action there. Shoot it. Come on. Jump in the way. There we go. I'm not worried about the 1. I think we're cool. Should we just bring the other guy back now? All right, and we're back. Stronger and better than ever. This is just sorcery. Can't do anything on his turn. Yeah, keep going for it, baby. That is just a sorcery as well. Can't get that. All right, double strike. Can I handle all of this? Number one. Oh, with a power grader. It's got enough toughness, huh? And we win! In your face, Duffy Moon! In your face! Alright, so here we are with Lifegain Hate. It was, once again, an incredibly fun deck. What I liked about it was the fact that it had so much aggro capacity into it. But also, because he's Screaming Nemesis, these guys are the guys that really kind of keep it going. As far as making it to where your opponent cannot gain life anymore. And there's a lot of good ways to get around it. You just got to get at them with Destroy Target Creature, or with, what am I trying to say, with a white one, which will exile it or something. But no, people keep trying to defend against it by throwing their dudes in front of it, or doing red damage directly to it. I mean, it's just, you got to stay away from these guys because they'll keep you from gaining life. Now, if you're not going to gain life, then whatever, you don't care. But everybody's playing with a little bit of life gain today. This deck is not. And these things really help to screw those guys over big time. And what's nice is we got a nice collection of board wipes in here. What are we doing? We got a little bit of, we got the Recommission to bring back guys from the graveyard. Get the Screaming Nemesis back out, or the Giant Cindermaw. Yeah, that is some good stuff. The guy I really like is Urabrask Forge. Unfortunately, we didn't see him in the game we played. Overlord of the Boilerbilges. I like the fact that he comes out, does 4 points of damage, and if you can get him out there to actually attack, that's 4 damage every turn. Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, as a person who feels like a red player deep in his heart, Overlord of the Boilerbilges is a fantastic card. You know, doing direct damage is limited in a certain way, but still, you can just shoot the opponent in his face over and over again, essentially doing like 9 points of damage to them. So yeah, Lifegain Hate is a fantastic kind of aggro deck that's got a real amount of board wipe selection into it as well. It allows that control to really work out well. Between Split Up, Day of Judgment, and Sunfall, that's 8 of them. 8! That is hardcore, over-the-top board wipe for an aggro deck to be holding together. Fantastic. All right, there you go. One of my favorite decks of December 2024, Lifegain Hate. All right, playing against Opeke, 38, something like that. Keep. Bunch of rock in the face. We're gonna have some buff Llanowar Elves here in a second. Right there, baby, all in. All right, turn 3, we get out of Skitterfang. Probably go for the Overlord. Oh, what the heck did it just do? It relied upon the Llanowar Elf. Oh, it didn't want to do damage to me. What a jerk. All right. I got to watch out for the auto selector here. I don't know if he's going to like Archfiend or the Dross. All right, so Archfiend's blowing smoke rings right now. He's got to come at me. He had a 7 with red. What's he going to do? He doesn't have any mana left. He just has to keep raging at me is what he's got to do. No. All right, so I got to come at him because he's got a limited time on him. If I had doubling season out first, it'd be fantastic because he would have had like 6 of his little life counters. I don't think he could do 14 points of damage. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'd have to do 3 times the amount of damage to be able to kill me. And we win! Victory! All right, so here we are with oil counters. Yeah, this was a cool deck. It focuses a lot on doubling the counters. How are we doing that? We're doing a doubling season, and we're doing it with the Innkeeper's Talent, whose 3rd level ability is anytime you put 1 or more counters on something, you put twice as many counters on it instead. And so that means we got twice as many going on to Urabrask Forge, which is fantastic. Migloz with double the amount of counters would be fantastic. Fantastic, right? Archfiend of Dross, absolutely. Evolved Spinoderm, yep. So we've got tons of things that we want to put counters on. The thing we don't want to put counters on is Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I mean, you want to get this guy out, and then you want to put out like doubling season or Innkeeper's Talent, and then let his token lands afterwards be doubled. It's a thin line you got to walk with the Overlords there. We've only got 1 Overlord, and so therefore he's not too hard to work with. Worst case scenario, you just wait and just pay for him full price, and then you don't have to worry about that whole impending thing. Overall, yeah, that works out great. So this deck is pretty decent as it is, but doubling up everything these guys do makes them Insanosaurus Rex. The big thing is that this is a mid-range deck, so we got Llanowar Elf in there to help really get this thing rolling as a mana ramper, because we need it to do it. Now, the good thing is we got lots of good things to do in 1 and 2 and 3. There's an ice even blowing amongst the curve here. So therefore, doing stuff while we're waiting to get up to where we could do things for 5 doesn't seem to really be a big problem. A lot of weird lands. What do we got? We got some man lands in there. And, these... I don't know why we need Fabled Passage, really. Just because we're just fighting to try to get either a swamp or forest. These guys don't have any landfall as far as I can tell, so there's not really a good reason for Fabled Passage. But anyways, it was a fun deck. It really held together, and I liked it because it had a lot of action, and it had a big bombs at the end. They didn't happen turn 3, but they happened turn 5, 6, 7, which was a good way of finishing off the game. So altogether, it was kind of interesting, a little bit of a mess, not a strong theme or tribe to it at all, but still, it always ended up having a very entertaining game when you're playing it. There we go. Oil Counters, one of my favorite decks of December 2024. All right, we're playing against DangerMoose. Let's go white. Let's turn off the beastie. These guys tend to get a little annoying. All right, we got 2/2. This guy can come out cheap. This guy can come out cheap. Again, about now, either of these guys will get bigger. These guys have less words, so let's go for these guys first. They're essentially the same thing. And there we go. Pump. Look out, BC, I'll save you. There we go. I got it. We just got to keep grinding them down. That is probably the worst I've ever seen. You paid 3 for that. That is just horrible. Yeah, he's just spending his time trying to control everything. He's not spending any time whatsoever actually doing anything. I tell you what, I could do all this, can't I? I could throw this guy out for 1, and then I can just tap him. No! I just getting screwed by that today by having where they have a pain land, and so it taps one of my other guys to pay for because it's the auto selector. And that was not my choice. All right, well now these healer hawks are going to be doing all the heavy lifting, trying to provide life gain to bump everybody else up during the turn. I guess we got the Ruin Lurker helping me out with that too. Auto pay, does whatever I want to say. Pump, pump, pump. No, I don't care. Yeah, all right. All right, it's down to 7. I'm really just showing tons of... Yeah, there we go. There wasn't much for him unless he had a board wipe. Victory! All right, so here we are with Lifegain Aggro V2. And yeah, I really dug it. I thought this was a cool deck. What I liked about it is that it was different from the other Lifegain decks that are out there. In that, I mean, I guess you have Essence Chandler. I'm just saying there's not a lot of, well, there's, I can say, flying guys. Then I start looking and we got like Healer's Hawk, Essence Command. Let me just start all over again. All right, here we are with Lifegain Aggro V2. What I really liked about this version of a Lifegain Aggro deck is the fact that it's very simple what it's trying to do. You got like half the guys that are life gainers and you got half the guys that pump up because of life gain. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And we've got that Knight Errant who just, his whole thing, I mean, he's kind of like, usually like, oh, I want a 4/4 guy, right? I get him out for cheap by tapping my other dudes. His real ability is just to go get more cheap guys. That's kind of the deal. I'd almost leave him in the past and just let the other little dudes do the aggro stuff that they do so well and not go out of my way to try to get the Knight Errant out. You got to walk that balance to determine what's going on at your particular moment. I think the real key to this deck is raise the past, because the deal is that your guys are going to die as part of the normal gameplay, and your real secret is going to be bringing them all back at some point. Raise the Past is an incredible card that is it's a deck type unto itself, and you know, but what's great is it provides your deck with another life out of nowhere. So with aggro, it's usually, I'm getting my dudes out fast, I'm going to attack, and if I make it to mid-game and I haven't won the game by now, I'm dead. Raise the Past says, all right, I'm going to give you one more chance to do something, because everybody that's died, yeah, you guys are all coming right back out at one time, and we're going to just raid in like crazy. Now, the only problem with that is that there's no haste involved here, and so therefore, they can see it coming. You're telegraphing your next action. But hey, man, it's better than nothing. In fact, it's better than most other aggro decks out there right now. So yeah, there's no haste here, but with the flying guys you have, you got evasion, which helps to get you that life gain, which then pumps up your other dudes. Yeah, it's a simple deck. It's very fast. It's very fun. That's what probably made it one of my favorite decks of December of 2024. All right, playing against Zako. Couple Hydras, not bad. This guy will be cool. Keep. Ooh, Snakeskin Veil. Eeks. Probably put a guy out. I'm gonna say then I'll be playing quick, and I won't have the mana to keep him alive. I mean, I can keep him alive after the next turn. Balloon up. Nice. All right, cool. Rage. All right, he's down to 9. I got the ability to keep one of these guys alive. That should be enough to be Trixie. And we win. All right, there we go. That was probably the best case scenario. Victory! And here we are looking at Hydra Power. What I liked about this deck was that it was a very simple deck when it came to trying to work with the Mossbound Hydras. Let's take a look at them up close. And that's really what the deck was about. It was like, let's get these guys out and let's do some awesome stuff with them. What I like about it is that, like, what really helps it out is we got Spring, this guy right here. You could sacrifice one of your lands and you put 2 more into play. So that causes the Mossborn Hydra to trigger off twice more. And the doubling power is what gives this guy so much power. And the fact that he's got trample by default, so it really doesn't matter what he's got going on. The only thing you got to worry about with people that have First Trick and Death Touch at the same time. Those are the bad guys here, because you don't have any means of getting past those guys. We don't have any flings, nothing like that going on. I haven't even seen this card. What is this? When you get your attacks, put a Popo counter on it as 3 or more. You sacrifice an aura, 2 basic lands. It's the same kind of thing here. You have the ability to just make it to get 2 more out. Basically finding all these great ways of triggering to get more lands so you get more landfalls out. Flourishing Bloomkin is cool because he gets bigger for each forest you got. That's cool, but he doesn't have trample on it or anything like that. Plus, he has the ability to go and get more lands potentially if you got a lot of mana anyway. And then, of course, Paw Patch and Bristly Bill for putting Popo counters onto things like the Mossbound Hydra, and the Ozlith for putting even more counters onto things like the Mossbound Hydra. Yeah, problem is if Mossbound Hydra just gets killed with easy creature removal, this deck is doomed. So hopefully you're doing it fast. Hopefully you're getting lucky and they don't have a lot of good control, because if they're just focusing too much on their own aggro and not enough on controlling your deck, yeah, your deck's going to smoke them. But if your deck is going up against a control person, you're probably not going to be able to make it very far. But anyways, I liked it though. Most of the times when you're getting the matchmaker working out who was going to play with, it picked a pretty decent time. And you end up winning a bunch with this deck. It's not going to happen all the time. Like I said, control's your big problem. Anybody that knows what they're doing will just wait for Mossbound Hydra and take it out. You don't have that many creatures in here. Otherwise, you just could try to grind them down with a Paw Patch Recruit. Anybody that starts targeting these guys is a sucker. But yeah, you could drive them down 2 at a time. If they put out any good blockers, you're screwed. Whatever. So anyways, it's a simple version of Mossbound Hydra. I found it to be really entertaining. If you think Mossbound Hydra is a cool card, this is the deck you want to play it with to start off with, and then you can take it someplace else from here. All right, so there you go, Hydra Power, one of my favorite decks of December 2024. All right, playing against Robin Wood. A lot of things to do for one. That's good. The question is what I'm going to put out first. We'll do Fuseling second, probably. I was lucky getting out with a good haste to the face. All right, I don't have a third mana, so Squee's going to go to the side. You're going to go to the side. What a jerk! Come on, mana number 3, where you at? He's just playing control on me. There we go. Got a lot of guys in here. No, he exiled all of them. What a jerk. You're just playing creature removal, huh? Quit touching my guys. Report you to the HR. Get you fired. There you go, Cubert. I haven't fed you in a while. There you go, man. Pow, pow, pow. Got him down to 12. This has been a lot of hitting. If we could have kept those initial goblins out, we'd be doing pretty awesome right now. I'm kind of scared of those manlands he's got. Those guys are big. Do I care? Right there. All right, go ahead. Jump your dudes in front of some guys there. If I really wanted her dead, I needed to kill one of those little guys beforehand. Right now, he could make it to where I'm only doing 2 to Ashiok. There you go. All right, so Ashiok gets to live. I guess burst lightning it. I have to do this, I guess, one way or the other, right? What does it say? 4 other cards. That's it. I'm not getting those guys back. All in, baby cakes. Let's do it. Let's go to town. He's only got 1 card in his hand. He doesn't have enough to activate his little man lands. Come on. Create treasure token. Target creature counts extra top of card of your library. May play it this turn. That's what I want to do. Let's see what happens here. We could maybe just win. No math! I can see. There we go. I can see like at least 4 cards over 3 mana. That's 12, baby. And we win! Oh! That was glorious. That was glorious. All right, so here we are with Migoblins. And yeah, these guys were so incredibly cool. I gotta say that just as far as being a fun deck, absolutely. And I understand other people are playing other versions of this with slightly different cards. It's probably even better, but I haven't done it. I just played this particular deck. Like I say, I have always, like I say I'm a mono red player, it's because I love mono red Goblin Tribal. That's always been my favorite deck from when I was a wee lad in upstairs Hollywood Magic the Gathering school. And so seeing them finally come back together again and having a great deck, oh, it just fills my heart with joy because these goblins look like they are having a great time. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Yeah, there's a lot of different styles of goblins. But yeah, they're all very, very different. You know, there's Squee chilling back. Looks like he's had a good dinner, which includes like himself or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think that the pirate goblins are some of my favorite right now. What I like about this deck is you saw that we got totally hosed in this last game with a board wipe. And then, but they came back because they are just so incredibly tenacious in what they're going to do. And they're just like, I'm coming. There's more of me. You want to wipe the board? We're just going to be more of us. So Impact Tremors is a fantastic because, yeah, this deck just loves laying down more goblins. There's so many things you're putting down for 1 mana. You know, so Impact Tremors is great, and they just keep coming. Breaches, he's the guy I wasn't sure about. Luckily, there's only 1 in here, but being able to exile top card library and play it this turn, I usually got tons of mana left aside. Once you work your way through your decks, we're not doing a lot of card draw. So it's just lay all your creatures down, and then you're just sitting there with a bunch of mana. Breaches will help you to find more cards to play. Ultimately, Goblin Surprise won us this last game because he like tripled the amount of damage we were going to do in 1 turn. Because we're usually just doing 1 point of damage, and putting +2 on all those guys tripled the amount of damage we're getting through. Yeah, and Squee just being able to just come out, putting out babies, and you know, then if it gets killed, coming back again. Yeah, that was all really, really, really good. So the tenacity, the fun, the determination of Amigo Goblins was fantastic. All right, so there you go. Me Goblins, one of my favorite decks of December 2024. And here we are with my top 5 favorite decks. What were they? Lifegain Hate by Magic GG. I don't know who put this together, but yeah, Magic GG identified it. Oil Counters by Finger Pro. Lifegain or Aggro V2 by Prod. I think I called it V2 because I already had a Lifegain Aggro. Prod did not call it Lifegain Aggro V2. But still, Lifegain Aggro. Hydra Power by Babe. And Amigoblins by Magic Deck Analysis. Magic Deck Analysis is always hitting out of the park with great decks. Yeah, big time. So what did I like? I noticed that in this particular month, there was a lot of Lifegain. So that's why I really liked Lifegain Hate. I like the fact that it was sort of just rubbing it in their face. What's funny is if you take a look at the top 5 like win rate decks, it's all aggro. Yet those decks don't bother me as much as just like the Lifegain decks. The guys that just sit there and say, oh, well, you know, I'll gain 1 life every time a creature hits. And then every time I do that, my little flying guy is going to like cause you to lose life and everything. You got a Lifegain combo going on. That drives me insane. It just, because I hate fighting against the tide is what it feels like. So that's why I really, really liked Lifegain Hate. And the funny part, then when you played Lifegain Aggro, I felt like I was a part of the problem. Now, the thing about that, Lifegain aggro doesn't play the combo. It's not like I have for every life that I gain that you lose life. I'm just, every time I gain life, my dudes get bigger. I kind of felt like that was the more honest life gain. And so I thought that was cool. And I like the fact that it was very aggressive, that it happened early, and that you were just kind of jumping on people in an early game, and then it was over. So that's what I liked about Lifegain aggro. It felt more honorable to play it. While a lot of the Lifegain decks people are playing are dishonorable. They're horrible little villains. Now, you know, if you ever feel that way about a deck, you should always just play it yourself. Oil counters was cool. It was kind of a mess, but it worked. And so I'm not a big fan of the deck just because I couldn't discern what the story was that it was trying to tell. But still, I know what it is. It's trying to like put out dudes that have counters and trying to put out tons of counters on them. And it worked. It worked. Hydra power was fun just because Moss-bound Hydra or Moss-born Hydra is super cool. It's a fragile deck. All you have to do is just shoot the Hydra, and the rest of the deck is just not good enough to usually win. Still, this one was usually fast, and it held up. You know, it's like, even though there was sometimes a good control deck could just rip it apart, more times than not, against whoever you were playing, the Hydra power deck did a good job. But ultimately, my favorite deck of the entire month was Amigo Goblins. I have a hard time pronouncing that. Amigo Goblins, because it was just a red goblin tribal deck, and those are always so beautiful. I know I got a lot of comments saying, hey, what about this card? What about that card? Those could be great too. I think I've seen some stuff that has those other cards in it. I got to try playing it sometime, but I like to bounce around from different types of decks. And Amigo Goblins was really good unto itself. Not really a reason to try to go to do something else. But I got to try it somehow else. Still, that was my ultimate favorite, was the Goblin deck, but that's just because of the kind of player that I am. I know that's what I like to do. All right, so there you go. Those are my top 5 favorite decks for this last month of December 2024. If you decide to play with any of these decks, then I hope that you have as much fun playing them as I did. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.